So these are all true stories about Rashad. Seriously, these are all true. He swum with the great white sharks in South Africa. He's bungee jumped from a wall in Mexico. So even though Rashad looks like Indiana Jones's chubby IT assistant, he embodies the ethos of Indiana Jones and adventure. And I think him and I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. That was a bit... All right. So why does Rashad climb mountains, swim with sharks? What was he looking for? I honestly imagine he was looking for someone like a D. When someone you love finds their soulmate, there's truly no better feeling. And I sleep easy knowing that Rashad is a D to watch over him and take care of him. And I hope that a D's family knows that a D will want for nothing in life. Okay? Because I'm pretty successful. So if Rashad falls short, I'm the safety net. Okay?
I remember her talking about his very large dog and that he was actually a very... No, Heidi.
Here's a little bit of unsolicited advice from me to you, Mike. I want you to rush home and make dinner every night. You won't regret it, because no one dries out a chicken thigh like Melissa Youssef. And stay very clear away from her dump cake. And in a state of emergency, her cookies can be like weapons of mass destruction.
Ever since we were born, Kristen has always acted like a second mom to Jen and I, even when we never asked for it. Growing up, we thought this would blow over when she got a boyfriend. Turns out, Frey's got a second mom too.
Like any brother, we were competitive from the day dot, okay? And let's be honest, I think the only time I beat you was coming out of the womb, because you smashed me and everything else. Even still, you tried holding me back.
Ever since my boys were little, I've been praying for their spouses. Praying, searching, stalking. It's all much the same.
First we heard of this Forlong fella was about 4 or 5 years ago, actually. We were chatting with this lovely lady, very friendly, and she'd been sitting at our table sizing up Ashley and Caitlin.
To my disappointment, one of them had just started a relationship, and the other one had just finished one and seemed to be swearing off men totally. However, God has a sense of humour. And you can imagine my surprise when Tyler comes home from church having met a lovely young lady called Ashley. And so he...
You respected us by asking our permission with a nervousness that happens only when one wants a true outcome. And we trust you to take care of our daughter. And Carrie Lynn, we are so proud that you have decided to live your life with a person like us.
All along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me.
I never thought I would see Ryan marry a woman. I assumed you'd marry me.
I was told to be brief, but since I can't, I'll talk fast. Day one of Ryan's life. Ryan, you were a perfect baby. My firstborn. The experimental child. Who would have thought you could ever get any better? But with Paloma, you are.
Being 5 years older than Paloma, I can remember her arrival quite vividly. I remember the hospital room and the weather. I remember the blanket that was on the bed.
Soon, Charlotte had joined our TV family and we spent many a Monday night watching Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, The Strain, more recently Westworld. Charlotte yelling, "Oh my gosh, that's so awesome," Every time a Lannister, zombie or robot was eviscerated, decapitated or riddled with lead, the rest of us glancing uneasily at each other, wondering if this was normal behaviour for someone entrusted with such easy access to scalpels and drugs.
He went through a phase where he was in a band. That's what Mr. O was talking about. It was called The New Elite. Yes, for those of you that were wondering. And Mr. O requested him to sing because he was a guitarist as well as the lead singer. So, but, well, all right, pause. But whenever he was going through that phase of being in a band, Limp Bizkit was huge at that time. So there was a phase, and there are pictures to prove it, where he spiked his hair. He had the frosted tips. They were there. Believe me, I did not follow in his footsteps in that sense. But I mean, come on, man. I know it was in at the moment, but frosted tips.
Like many fathers, you don't think anyone will be good enough for your daughter. Everyone who knows me knows I have a soft spot for my daughter. Some might even suggest that I've spoiled her a bit over the years. And they probably have a pretty good argument. And then Ben came along. One thing that impressed Marta and I so much, that convinced us he was the one, is the way he treats Chrissy. Aside from being so kind and patient with her, he genuinely wants to make her happy as much as we do. Maybe more. That says it all to me.
The bride, I want to encourage you to dress for bed. Remember that every day you pick out your clothes to wear, but you should do the same thing at night. And if you don't have anything pretty to wear, then don't wear anything. Remember that you always have to motivate him and stimulate him. This is the grandmother speaking.
Usually stepmoms have the reputation of being unpleasant and mean, but that is not the case with Beth. She's the complete opposite and is the kindest, most genuine person ever. Beth is perfect in every way, on the inside and outside. The idea of a stepmom was unsettling before Beth came into my life. But now that she's here, I've never been happier and more excited for a stepmom as perfect as Beth. Usually having divorced parents is hard, but Beth made it all worth it. Gaining Beth was one of the best things that has ever happened to me. She changed my life and my dad for the better. I could see the happiness that she brings my dad, and I'm so happy that he finally found his person that makes him happy.
God gave me a 3-minute time limit on my best man speech. So that's why I brought this. And we'll get started. Going longer than 3 minutes is uncharted territory for the Dudek, so by all means, the time did not start yet. Holy shit. And the time starts.
It took Tom and Elisa 33 years to find their soulmate, to find a lifetime partner, to create a space to start a family, to find someone with common interests and mind, to form a reality that is their own, and to embody the power that is their love. Together, Tom and Elisa are inevitable. Snap,
fingers. My sister and I are completely different people. She color coordinates her like words. I don't coordinate anything. It's just how it is. But I always said like my sister's the realist and I'm the dreamer. But the reason why I'm a dreamer is because you have made the impossible possible. Like, you just accomplish everything you set your mind to. Like, how am I not supposed to reach for the moon when I've seen you, like, conquer a whole universe?
So if you don't know who I am, I'm Lauren's little sister. My name is Nikki. Before I say anything else, let's give a round of applause for how beautiful and handsome the bride and groom look tonight. So one thing I want to point out before I get into anything else is I'm not the best at planning things like this. Honestly, I blame my parents for that because they didn't really plan on having me, but here I am, so.
There was one particular night when Davis was babysitting my sister and I, and he had a friend over. It was Christmas time, we were watching TV, and Davis ran into their room sweating and said, "I think someone broke into the house." He brought a kitchen knife with him, and he hid it under the couch. And he said, "This is in case you needed it." He took off with his friend to look for the bad guy, he said. What we didn't know was that Davis just wanted an excuse to look for Christmas gifts. And he found the Xbox 360 that year, among other gifts, while Taylor and myself are sitting in the family room scared shitless for an hour. Joke's on him, though. I got the Xbox that year, and he didn't.